Welcome to our Nissan Candle Scanner demo. My name is Paul. I am the president of CandleCharts.com. Very happy to be here with you live, or those of you watching the recording. A little bit about Nissan Candle Scanner and our software and our company. Our company, CandleCharts.com, has been around for, I believe, 25 plus years now, from Steve Nissen, who is the CEO and founder. I've been working for Steve for about 16 years now, and I've been using Nissan Candle Scanner for over 12. I believe it's even longer than that now, more than that, closer to 15 years. Don't want to date myself. Steve actually invented Nissan Candle Scanner for himself. He did it to find candle patterns on charts without him having to look for them. Meaning he would be either trading all day or he would be commuting or going to meetings with hedge fund managers and institutional traders. And then he would have the scanner literally find trade setups for himself. And he designed it. He worked with a programmer and he made this happen. And then a long time ago, we talked and said, hey, the average person out there would truly benefit from this as well. Now, Steve obviously can look at a chart and identify any candle pattern, but I used it to do a few things, primarily to scan for candle patterns, which I'm going to show you, but also to identify them, or what we call highlight them. So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to show you a few of the major things that Nissan Candle Scanner can do. I'm going to show you the resources that it comes with, because I do know a lot of people who own Candle Scanner, and we get this every day in the office. Somebody that bought Candle Scanner a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago says, hey, I need to reinstall it on a new computer, or how do I install it, or how do I make a modification? So I'm going to show you where all those resources are. I'm going to show you, for those of you that do not own it, I'm going to show you how you can purchase it for yourself. And then I'm going to answer any questions. Okay? So what you see on your screen right now is the Nissan Candle Scanner. I'm going to explain a couple things. And actually what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take off my Bollinger Bands, which I definitely like, but I'm going to remove them. I'm going to apply and OK, just to make it a little bit easier to read on the chart. So right now you just see candles with abbreviations both above and below different candle patterns. Okay, now these are the abbreviations. To make it a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my indicators. I'm going to go into Nissan Candle Scanner. I'm going to make a little change, and I'm going to get rid of abbreviations. So now we'll see the actual names of those candle patterns, either below or above that specific candle pattern. Right now we're looking at a chart of the euro dollar on a 15-minute time frame. And I'll explain data feeds in a couple of minutes, but I wanted to show you that it doesn't matter what chart you're looking at. We have students around the globe. We have students that trade different markets, futures, Forex, cryptocurrencies, stocks, ETFs. We have people right here in New Jersey where I live. We have people in India, Australia, Europe, Asia, South America, Canada, you name it. We've got students there using Nissan Candle Scanner. We have people that use it on a 1-minute time frame. We use it on 5-minute, 15, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, any time frame that you could possibly imagine. There are so many things that you can do. Now realize a couple things. One of the first questions I typically get is, when I see a green or a blue arrow up, does that mean I should buy? Or if I see a red arrow moving down, does that mean I should sell? And I will tell you that the first thing that you really need to understand is that Nissan Candle Scanner is designed for people with candle knowledge. Okay? Meaning these candle patterns are not telling you to buy or to sell. They're telling you, here's a bullish engulfing pattern. Here's a shooting star. Here's a piercing pattern. Based on your candle knowledge, then you would want to make your decision. Okay, so the software is not instead of education, it's designed to enhance your candle education. I said this before the session, but again, I'll just say it one more time now. If you do have a question at anything I'm talking about, please type it in. I'd be happy to answer it for you, because more than likely somebody else in the room or watching the recording also has that. If you're watching this via recording, you have a question, email me, paul@candlecharts.com. So what you see on the screen right now is highlighting. This is part one of what Nissen Candle Scanner can do. It is going to identify for you different candle patterns, anything from a high wave, piercing pattern, bull engulfing, bull sash, we have a bear sash, we have tweezer top, shooting star, you name it, doesn't matter. I can switch to a different time frame. I'm going to just switch to a daily chart for right now. And there you go. Now you can see a daily chart. Okay, this is called highlighting. What I want to show you real quick is that it can work on any time frame. It can work on any chart. But what I really want to show you right now is scanning. And this is one of my favorite parts of what Nissen Candle Scanner can do. Now, I've been to every seminar that Steve has given for the past decade and a half. And I understand candles pretty well. Not nearly as well as Steve, I'm not trying to claim that, but I understand candles pretty well. So what I do is I have a few different scans. I look for different candle patterns on different time frames and different markets, and I can make any combination of anything. I like keeping my scans nice and simple. For example, this is a lot of people have heard of me talking about my bouncing ball trade where I look for hammers. Well, here it is. These are my answers for what I will be looking at going into tomorrow. What stocks in the S&P 500 have had a hammer in my look back period. Okay, there they are. It's listing them all out for me. So later tonight and or early tomorrow morning, I will be scanning through those quickly and identifying what trades I may possibly be entering tomorrow. One of my other new favorite strategies is my hanging man strategy. And here they are. Same thing in the S&P 500. Now, you can have as many scans as you want set up. You can look for any time frame. So you can look for a bouncing ball on an hourly or on a 15-minute or on a daily. You can look for hanging man on a 10-minute chart. Doesn't matter. Pick your candle pattern, pick your time frame, pick your watch list. Does not matter. Okay? I'm going to show you an example of a chart. I believe it was the pound dollar. Yes, it was. Okay, one of my new favorite strategies, not necessarily new, but more so recently than ever before. I'm looking at hanging man. Now, a hanging man candle looks like a hammer. However, it is not a hammer. And anybody know why? Anybody in the room right now tell me, what is the difference between a hanging man and a hammer? Anyone? There you go. Thank you. Somebody just got it. Great job, Tom. Mary Jane says trend. Thank you, Mary Jane. Daphne, thank you. Felix, hangman is top of a bullish trend or in an uptrend. Thank you, Daphne. A hammer comes after a downtrend. Mary Jane, good to see you here. The trend, correct. So a hanging man, I have my red highlighter right here on a hanging man. A hanging man is in the shape of a hammer, but it's coming in a uptrend. Well, a hanging man is a potential bearish reversal signal. However, it requires bearish confirmation, which means if it gets bullish confirmation, meaning it closes above the close of the hanging man candle itself, it is a bullish signal. So here we are on the pound dollar on a daily chart. The reason I'm looking at Forex right now, Forex markets are open. We got a bullish hanging man. I do not trade this because it's on a daily chart. I wait for the close or near the close of the following candle. We get obviously a nice bullish green candle on the candle just after the hanging man. And what do we get after that? We have a beautiful move up from the top of the hanging man, just over 129, all the way up to in the 131 area. Okay. Anybody want to do the quick math on that? From 129 up to 131? It's not 2 pips. There you go, 200 pips. So what do? I have our handy dandy market analyzer, look for hanging man candles On various markets, this just happens to be on the stocks of the S&P 500 on a daily chart. It works beautifully well for me on stocks in the S&P 500 and works similarly in major pairs of Forex. So it's really simple to set up a market analyzer where I look for hanging man just a few candles back. If I see a hanging man, I'm not looking at today's hanging man. I want to know yesterday's hanging man and what kind of confirmation we get the day after. Now, is that a guarantee that it's always going to work that way? Of course not. You have to look at all the other clues on the chart to be able to identify risk and reward, as well as support and resistance. Okay. One of my other favorite scans to do, and I do this on different markets. I just happen to pick on the S&P 500 again, but during the day, I have this running and it tells me everything that's happening inside the stocks of the S&P 500. Now, you see a lot of times you'll get a window that happens right at the market open. There will be many windows when the market opens tomorrow. And usually 5, 10, 15 minutes after the market opens, a lot of those windows disappear, right? The price action fills in. However, as the day progresses and the windows are still there, you can pick either to find them on the price change or on the bar close. So as the price changes, it will change it from whatever candle pattern it is and remove it if it's no longer that candle pattern. Or if you did it on bar close, which means once that candle closes, then it would identify that specific candle pattern. Okay, so that is the market analyzer. There is literally no limit to what the candle scanner can do to help you find setups. And I'm going to tell you another thing. It is like a fine wine. Your use of candle scanner improves every time you use it. You'll get another idea. You'll get a concept, or hey, what if I did this? The hangman, for any of you that already own candle scanner, I encourage you, throw a market analyzer on, looking for hangman candle patterns, and identify the next day and backtest it. The same way I did with the bouncing ball trade set up 15 plus years ago. I'm doing that with a hangman now, even though I'm more than backtesting it, I'm actually making some trades with it and doing quite well. Okay. The other thing that you can do with the candle scanner is do alerts, which means you can have alerts be sent to you either through a pop-up thing on your screen, a noise, a text, a tweet can be happening with an alert, and you can have an alert, hey, alert me if there is a bearish signal on a 10-minute chart in whatever specific watch list you want. So you can do that intraday, you can have alerts at night, you can have alerts on Forex, on stocks, on ETFs, on whatever you want. So a lot of times with my bouncing ball, what I do is I look for the hammer, and then I look for a retest of the low of the hammer. So what do? I use the market analyzer to scan for the hammers, and then I set up alerts, identify for me when we touch this price point. And then I'll get an alert, and that will signify to me that I should come back and look at that chart. Frank, you're asking me, are you looking 8 days back like in the bouncing ball? You mean 8 days back on the hanging man, Frank? Is that what you're looking for? Is that your question about the hanging man? Yeah. So you can certainly do that, and then you can kind of track back. But what I actually look for is hanging man that happened 2 days ago, because I want to see what happened on the hanging man. But realistically, what I'm really looking for, Frank, is what candle happens, the candle immediately after the hanging man. And that should dictate to me the general trend or that direction of what's going to happen. Either the hanging man is a bearish reversal and it's turning an uptrend into a sideways or downtrend, or we get a continuation off of the hanging man and we're looking for a continuation bullish movement. Okay, so I hope that helps, Frank. Good question. I'm going to show you now, folks, the resources that you get when you own Candle Scanner, because a lot of people that own it don't even realize this. But right now, what I'm doing is I am logged into my fun account as Gordon Gekko. I show this a lot when I do these kind of sessions. The idea is when you log into CandleSharks Academy, I'm logged in up here. Right here, Nissan Candle Scanner for NinjaTrader. It's listed in the green section of your products. And I'm going to click on that because your products means these are products that this account has access to. Felix question, NCS is only for NinjaTrader. It actually works on a few different platforms. One is NinjaTrader, by far the most popular with our students, Felix. The others are TradeStation and Trade Navigator. Those are the only three, okay? And Felix, we do have a different version of software called Nissan Candle Highlighter that works on MetaTrader 4. That's called Nissan Candle Highlighter. The difference is Nissan Candle Highlighter that works on MT4 cannot scan and it cannot alert, but it can highlight. Okay. Hopefully, Kamal, good question. Yeah, only on MT4 is a candle highlighter. If you're interested in that, just send me an email, paul@candlesharks.com. I'll be happy to get you information about the candle highlighter. But for today's session, we're talking specifically for the full version of our software called Nissan Candle Scanner for the NinjaTrader platform. So when you're logged in and if you already own Candle Scanner, this is what you would see. We have a 12-minute video that literally walks you through installing the software. The same information in that 12-minute video is right here in the written directions. So we get a lot of people that English is not their primary language, or they like following written directions. It's the same information in the written directions compared to the video. You could do both, or you could watch the video, or you could just use the written directions, or you can utilize both. After you watch that, and notice we encourage you, see these in red letters, we encourage you to watch the video and or read the written directions before you begin. This is pretty critical. For those of you who already own it and have already installed it, the video walks you through it, the written directions walk you through it, but a lot of people just jump right ahead and they don't watch this and they think they could just do it or install it the way other things install, and it's not true. It's not hard, but if you just follow the steps that we provide, it will be very simple. We give you the link to download NinjaTrader, so you do not need a current NinjaTrader account. We would provide that for you. After you download NinjaTrader 8, which you have to do first because our software is not a standalone, it is a plug-in. Okay, it plugs into the NinjaTrader platform. So you need NinjaTrader downloaded to your computer before actually going to the Nissan Candle Scanner. A couple of questions that I just got, and I typically get, yes, it can work on a Mac. However, please note, it only works on a Mac when you create a Windows environment. So if you have a Mac, you probably have heard this before, using something like Parallels in order to create that Windows environment. Now, for those of you that are Mac owners, we do provide you Mac installation steps down here. Okay, so we show you how to install it, video, written directions. We give you the links needed. We give you your license key. This is not my real license key. This is just a fake license key that's there. After you install it, after it is installed, we encourage you to watch this idea session. It's an hour and 15-minute long video that I did to give you ideas on how to actually use the software. Doesn't mean you have to follow what I do. Not at all. It is designed to give you ideas. If you want to follow what we do, by all means, go for it. If you want to take what we do and modify it, customize it, adapt it to you, by all means. If you watch what we do and you hate it, don't use that. Other things. We then have other strategy videos. And a lot of people, by the way, they see this and like, oh, okay, how do I use it? And they never scroll down. Please scroll down. There's a lot of information here. You have the idea video. We have a trade setup template here for you to utilize that Steve uses. We then have an hour-long video that I did on the bouncing ball, videos from Steve on the blast-off trade that he does, the power windows that he does, utilizing strict criteria. We have bonus training if you're new to charts. We have an hour-long video on setting up charts. We have a short video on setting up international indexes. And for those of you not familiar with all the candle patterns or you want a refresher, we have a 18-minute video on the 28 different candle patterns that we utilize inside of the software. We use 28 of the most important candle patterns as defined by Steve. Like I said before, we have Mac installation steps, and then a quick reference guide, a PDF that shows you the 28 different candle patterns. I know we have some people in the room that already own the software, and they use that quick reference guide on their desk, taped to the wall, whatever needed, right? It's basically a cheat sheet, but who cares, right? Use every advantage that you possibly can. Got a couple questions about how do you purchase the software, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in that link right now. And we offer this in a few different ways, meaning you can go with a monthly plan, an annual plan, or a lifetime plan. Okay, there is a promotion on the lifetime plan, and if you go to that link that I just typed in, candlecharts.com/NCS, you'll see the promo on the lifetime plan. Let's get back to the actual chart, unless there's any other questions at this point about the resources available. Any other questions on the resources? Going once? No. Okay. So this is what the chart looks like. Let me show you a couple of different things. I showed you already how you can change it from the full name of the candle pattern to the abbreviation. I'm going to switch it back to the abbreviation right now just for a second. Go back here. Notice, by the way, with each candle pattern, I have my choice of either yes, I want it identified, no, I don't, or yes, I want it, but only on strict criteria. And remember, I showed you that video, and the resources will provide you with information. What is a strict criteria candle pattern compared to a standard criteria? Strict is going to be a cleaner definition. So if something is strict, it would also be standard. But if something is standard, that does not mean that it would be a strict candle pattern. I'm going to put the abbreviations back on just for a second here. I'm going to click apply. Okay. And notice here on my chart, went back to the abbreviations. However, if I'm not sure what it is, I can click right here on this plus E over here. And notice at the bottom left corner of the chart down here, let me put my spotlight on. It will identify for me. I clicked on the plus E, it's going to tell me over here the bullish, it's a bullish engulfing pattern. So if you like having the abbreviations on, but you're trying to remember what is what, click on it, it'll tell you the candle pattern right there in the bottom left corner. Pretty neat. Now, NinjaTrader is just a charting platform, and I'm going to get into a couple of questions that I just saw come in. NinjaTrader will allow you to add whatever indicators you want onto the chart. So as you saw before, I had Bollinger Band. I'm going to add those back in. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to hit apply and OK. And there's my Bollinger Bands. Okay, but I don't really like those yellow lines, so I'm going to go back into indicators. I'm going to go into Bollinger Bands. And down here where it says my upper band is a solid gold line, I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to make it into a black dash. Notice I just did that to the upper band, so there's my upper band now in black. I didn't change the lower band. But again, you could change that at any time. And if you notice when I went into indicators, look at all the different indicators that you can throw on. Okay? Any moving average, RSI, MACD, you name it, it can be done. NinjaTrader, again, is a charting platform with drawing tools. So if I want to draw a horizontal line, for example, right here we had a falling window, so I might want to draw that line in there. We had a little support area here, so I don't have to do a complete horizontal line. I could just do a ray. Okay, I can do all kinds of things. I can add indicators. I can do whatever I'd like to do on this. So the important thing here to realize is I do not trade off of the NinjaTrader platform. Okay, I have, and I'm going to bring this up now, the NinjaTrader control panel will allow me to connect multiple data feeds into NinjaTrader. Up here in the available list, we'll show all of the different available data providers that work with NinjaTrader. So I currently use TD Ameritrade, and I use that for all of my stock and ETF. I use a Forex.com account for all my Forex data. And I don't have it hooked up now, but I have a Coinbase account for all my crypto trades. Excuse me. And I want to identify this for you, an external data feed. The reason I bring that up is because there's so many other data feeds that they can't list all of them. For example, our friends in India, a lot of them use what's called True Data or ExcelPix. Both are data providers into NinjaTrader. So if you wanted to trade the Indian stock market, you absolutely can. You would just need an account or some type of work with either ExcelPix or True Data. You would then connect them the same way that I connect my TD Ameritrade and my Forex.com accounts in for my data feeds right there. You can connect Interactive Brokers, FXCM, eSignal, Coinbase, Barchart.com, and this rotates. I shouldn't say rotate, but they do add from time to time as well. If you have an eSignal account, you can add that in as a data provider. Okay, the NinjaTrader control panel is where you would actually create a new market analyzer. You would create a new chart. NinjaTrader has a lot of features that I have not even gotten into with you, specifically because you don't need them. So here's the way it works. I use this for charting, scanning purposes. Okay, I can scan, I can look at anything that I want, and then I go in on another monitor and I actually execute my trades either through Forex.com, through TD Ameritrade or Coinbase or any other account that I want to. What questions do you have at this point regarding data feeds, strategies, market analyzers, or anything? Okay, so I just got a question about the bouncing ball. So I'm going to go into the bouncing ball right here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just move the control panel off the screen. I'm going to link my market analyzer by clicking on that, and then I'm going to link it to the chart by clicking on the instrument link up here and also clicking it as a red, okay? Which means if I see a hammer, I click on this on the market analyzer, automatically I get that chart, ADSK, and here's my hammer. So it takes me seconds to identify what was on my market analyzer and then go find it on the chart. Okay, so I'm going to go back and we're just going to go through another one. Here's another one at AME. There's my hammer. Okay, I'm going to just link this chart up as well. I'm going to link up my hanging man as well. And find another hanging man. Let's look at this one. Here we go. Perfect. Here's my hanging man right here. The next candle was a bullish confirmation. And what did we get the next candle? That doesn't mean it's going to continue going up. That just means that, oh, there we go. Now, after this green candle, the bullish confirmation, got another green candle. It was smaller. What did we get, though? We're right at the top Bollinger Band, and then we get a high wave candle. Okay, so signifying the idea that the hanging man was providing us a little indication that things were slowing down, even though it did give you bullish confirmation. See if there's any other hanging man candles. There's another one. Oh, and look what we got. Perfect example. Doesn't mean I'm trading this, folks. It just means we had a hanging man and then we got a green candle today. Now, what's important about this? A couple things to note, right? Just things to be aware of. First of all, did we just get a solid green candle? Yeah, it's a green candle with no upper and no lower shadow. But we did open below yesterday's low. So we had a lower low, a little bit of a concern. But yep, somebody just said it. There's another concern here as to why you think you may not want to enter a long trade here. What did we have over here? Some nice resistance just ahead. Okay, so if you do the risk reward, always remember your reward to risk ratio. We don't have that much room to grow until we hit that resistance point. But where would we have our support? Down in this area. We might have a little bit right there, but also down to here. So it might not work out, but this is giving you something to look at for tomorrow. Okay? Look at another one. Same idea. We have a hangman. We got bullish confirmation the next day, which was today. We had a higher low. The open was a little bit lower, but a higher close and a higher high. Something to keep an eye on. You might want to take a look at this tomorrow as well. So the link for those of you that are interested in purchasing the software is candlecharts.com/NCS. On this page, you will see that we offer monthly, annual, and lifetime. We do have an offer on the lifetime plan to save some money if you want to go lifetime, and that's on that page for the short time. And this goes through a lot of other information, including more videos on how it works, what it looks like, how to scan, and all kinds of alerts and all kinds of great testimonials that we get over and over again. That is the Nissen Candle Scanner with a quick demo. What we will be doing again in the very near future is another idea session, and that will be specifically for people who own Candle Scanner, where we'll be going through a few more ideas that we've gotten here in our office, as well as what students are actually using it for, to provide the ideas to share. So I'll put the link in here one more time. For those of you who already own it, I highly suggest that you go in and install it if you don't already. If not, if you already do have it installed, set up some scans and certainly share with us anything that you're willing to share as far as what works and what you like and what you don't like, as far as what scans have worked best for you. At this point, I'm going to open up for any questions, if there are any. It is a very limited time offer to save that money on the lifetime plan. And again, it will pay for itself. Can't tell you, if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, you'll see some great testimonials from people that have been using this for a while. Not only does it save you time every day for those of you who have a busy schedule, or you're going to school, or you have a full-time job, or you're taking care of family or friends or anything like that, you can set up a scan, walk away, eat dinner, come back, and boom, you have a list of potential setups for your next trading session, or even in the middle of that same trading session. Yes, it does enhance the candle education, but it doesn't replace candle education, meaning, yes, you would certainly want to have candle knowledge prior to actually using this. It is powerful software. You can scan for anything, and yep, the question is, can I scan it for moving average crossovers? Yes, you can use the market analyzer not just to scan for candle patterns, but you can scan for candle patterns and a moving average cross, or a Bollinger Band and Touch, or anything else so much like that. Mary Jane, great to have you here. Yes, thank you for being here. Mary Jane, Mary Jane says she thinks my bouncing ball strategy is stupid. I think I know what you mean. That's great. I've been doing the bouncing ball for a long time, and I've had the reason why Mary Jane brought that up, I believe, is from a phone call Mary Jane and I had, where I've had people tell me it's stupid, and they don't like it, and they don't have the patience for it, and that's fine. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work for you. But I can tell you, in another couple weeks, when I write tuition checks for my two sons to go back to college out of my account that I use with the bouncing ball, not so stupid for me. It does work quite well for me with how I use it. Yep. Frank says the hangman looks interesting, and he does like the bouncing ball. Frank, I would love to hear your thoughts after you get a chance to kind of play around with it. I know that you've looked at the bouncing ball before, but think about this, folks. You know, people ask me often about the bouncing ball, and is that my primary trade? And it's been one of my primary setups for a long time. But what does a bouncing ball have to have? You need to have a downtrend followed by a hammer. Well, what happens in the market when everything's going up? Are you going to get a lot of hammers if we're in an uptrend market? No. And again, if the S&P is up, the NASDAQ is up, the Dow Jones is up, yes, you will always get a couple of specific individual stocks or whatever markets that are downtrending. But when the major indices are going up, you're not going to get a lot of hammers. So it is always good to have more than one strategy. I like having multiple strategies. Okay? Having multiple strategies, one for going up markets, one for going down markets, one for sideways markets, one for in-between markets, one for markets that are going to move, but you don't know necessarily which direction. Okay? Kamal saying, how is Analyzer different from Highlighter? Completely different. The Highlighter, I'll just pull up the chart again just to show you. Oh, 1 second. So highlighting, Kamal, highlighting is literally identifying. Okay, so it's going to define for you, here's a piercing pattern, here's a bullish engulfing, here's an evening star pattern. So highlighting is just showing you on that chart, on that specific chart that you're looking at in that time frame, what candle patterns you have on the screen at that time. Now, if you were looking at this in real time, like the markets were actually open, so if I pulled up a Forex chart, we can actually see it moving, that would be highlighting. The market analyzer is the version, the part of NinjaTrader that we utilize to scan. Okay, and you could put whatever criteria into that market analyzer and it will provide you that list. You know, the one analogy somebody told me not too long ago was it's kind of like a blender. Whatever you put into the blender and then you hit blend, that's what you're going to have in the blender when you're done. So if you put ice cream and strawberries, you're going to have a strawberry shake when you're done blending it. If you put the S&P 500 and scanning for hammers, you're going to get a list of hammers in the S&P 500. Now, some days you might get 10 hammers. Other days you might get 50. Okay, so it's going to be up to you to prioritize. And a lot of people will then use strict criteria candles compared to standard if there's too many of a specific candle pattern, or maybe you want to narrow your watch list down off of the S&P 500 to the Dow Jones. I can tell you one of the best practices is that you can create your own watch list. It doesn't have to be the S&P 500. Example, Steve has a list of ETFs that he likes to trade. I believe there's about 20 of them, and he will scan that list of 20 for the candle patterns that he's looking for. Steve likes looking for windows. Now, it's very easy to find a big window. Anybody could see that. But to find a small window on a, let's say on a $100 stock, to find a window of about 5 cents, it's very difficult to see that. But the highlighter will highlight that for you on the chart, but the market analyzer could find those for you as well. And that's really important, and that's what Steve does. Think about it. Steve Nissen, the guru of candles in the entire world, created the software to find candle patterns for him so that he can make trades without having to go chart by chart. Could you imagine every day me looking at the S&P 500, all 500 stocks in the S&P 500 looking for hammers? It would take me 500 charts to look through, or I can have the computer find it for me. At the same time it's doing that for me, I can have it find hanging mans. I can have it find all windows. I can have it find whatever patterns in Forex if I wanted to. I can constantly have an endless list of potential trades waiting for me at any given moment. Kamal, did I answer your question? Tell me if I did. And Frank, tell me if you're going to actually look at the hanging man. And if you do, I'd love to hear your feedback about finding them and things along those lines. Okay, so at this point, I don't see any of the questions. For those of you interested in purchasing, please go to candlecharts.com/NCS. You'll have the opportunity to go monthly, annual, or lifetime along with the current promo. For those of you who already own it, please make sure you have it installed. Make sure you get into Candle Charts Academy, watch all the videos that we have to make sure that you have access to all the resources, and then keep your eyes out for any emails that we send out about new idea sessions and best practice. Mary Jane's going to look out for that, Hangman. Great. Mary Jane, if you do it, let me know any feedback that you get. All right, folks, thank you so much for your time and attention. If you do have any questions, again, my email, paul@candlecharts.com. And I always look forward to working with you, talking with you about this. I could talk trading all day long. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day and look forward to working with you here. Bye for now.